Sounds pretty huge. Welcome again, everyone. My name is Kendall Johnson, and you are watching the Midi Guitarist Channel, where we help guitarists who want to do film scores or use virtual instruments in their recordings, but don't know how to play piano very well, or just don't even want to touch the piano. So they would rather use the guitar to be their MIDI controller. And so just a quick recap of what we do at each video. We feature one library from a developer and just go through a lot of the patches to see how the guitar as a MIDI controller works on the different virtual instrument libraries, because some are different, some work really good, some patches work really good, other patches don't work really good. So the goal is just to show you how it works, and you get to decide if that's something you want to incorporate into your world, into your writing and on all that stuff. So if you find this video helpful, or if this is the first time and you're new here, I go ahead and click the subscribe button, the alert button, and all those things that people do on YouTube videos. So on that note, let's get started. So today we are doing my favorite library, the Hans Zimmer strings. And I love this library. I know when it came out, it got, there's a lot of critiques of its scripting, and some people were really impressed. I was really impressed. I loved it. Some people didn't like it. I think there was expectations of what it was going to be or anything, but for me, with the mic positions and everything else, you can really craft your own sound, your own what you want to do. And yeah, so I love the library, but it does take some programming and finessing in terms of the expression curves and just some of the MIDI notes and stuff. You'll start to see that here as I play. It'll become more prominent. So you heard me start out the video with the shorts, so we're going to start with the legatos. And I'm not going to do all of them, like the center violas wide and the violas and the left and the right violins. I'm just going to go through each one and just kind of show you some patches with each, and just to see what this sucker sounds like. So enough of me talking. So what does the legato 60 cellos sound like? So I'm using the expression pedal a lot, obviously. It feels like I use it more on this than other libraries. Maybe it's just me, but so far the legato seems really good. I think as time goes on, I'm getting better playing the legato patches with the guitar versus piano, because I feel like I'm hitting my notes a little bit better, if that makes sense. But if we go to the long, you're going to hear some interesting stuff, just some sucking sound, if that makes sense. So. You hear that kind of. I think a lot of that is in the, obviously the sampling and the scripting. So when you're doing guitar, it's not really inspiring, if that makes sense. Some wrong notes in there. So again, you get to hear what this does with this and how they kind of go back and forth and the wrong notes and all that jazz as well. So it's a real video. So yeah, if you're programming, you're use it to play, you can get some ideas out there, but you might be like, I'm not as inspired by this. So you have to go in the back end and fix some of those MIDI notes and your velocity curves and your expression expression curves, just to make sure you get the sound and the feel that you want. So the long, soft concertinos. Soft. But because it's soft and not as much attack, it actually works really nicely to this long soul. Yeah, some of these work really nice as some like layers. And kind of like the textures in the background, so they work really great. Super long super flautando. Probably said that wrong, that's okay. Still some of that sucking with the programming, just things to kind of keep in mind. The sucking does make it a little bit harder to kind of, to do stuff with. And there's, I get more stuck notes a little bit on this than I do other libraries, but you know, that one works good because it's just more of a texture, so you don't have to. So any of these like ones that you might use as a texture work really great. If you're trying to use the longs as like an actual like, oh, I'm gonna do some lines, you're gonna get that sucking and it's gonna be really hard. Let's move to the shorts. I don't know if I think it's the way I'm recording. There seems to be more of a bigger delay with this than previous libraries. I don't know. It just feels a little bit harder to. Yeah, it feels a little bit harder. So I'll make sure to, is it me? Is it my recording? Is it my changing in stuff that I've done? But it just feels a little bit harder. See, but this one feels good. That sounds great. And it's super soft there. So, so far really good. I hope you're. I didn't do the effects. The effects are just same thing, just one line, that type of stuff. I can do it in some other libraries, but let's just do. I'm not gonna do the 60 violins. Let's just do the left-hand violins. Again, it's not a library review where we go through every single patch, but I want to give you an idea of what everything kind of sounds like. Let's do the legato. So far in the 60 strings, what I liked is some of those texture pack texture patches. The legato seemed like it worked. The longs were a little bit funky for me. The short on the 60 strings was a little tough for me to play and play consistently. So if I'm using that and I really want to use, I might use a patch from another library, record the MIDI if I'm using guitar, and then just take those MIDI and put it back on that track if that makes sense. Some funkiness there with the legato scripting. It makes it a little bit tough for me, but it still works and playable. If this is the only string library I have, it seems like it works. So that sounds a lot better. The longs and less sucking on that one. That actually is very playable. Though I would use the longs on the left-hand violins. That's way more playable. Come on. I'm not gonna do a lot of the textures because we're gonna know what they're gonna sound like. Let's just do a long concertino just to see. Hit some wrong notes there. If you're not accurate, you're gonna get it all. Yeah, so the concertino, those patches work really great. In these, the 60 strings were a little bit tough, but in these they actually work really nice. So let's try the shorts. How do they sound? Yeah, still a little bit more of a delay. It must be, I'll check my recording. There's no delay on the legatos, it feels like. It's just, this one, the shorts just seem like there's a little bit. Otherwise, like, they work great. They sound great. It's just that little bit of a. The pizzicato is a little bit snappier, so yeah, like the pizzicatos have more. There's not as much delay in there. I like the pizzicatos. Let's try these ones, the staccatissimo. So this update came out later. It added these articulations, the last three. And so the staccatissimo are really, really short with tons of samples, round robins, if I remember. And so there's a huge dynamic range of it in terms of record velocities and stuff. So. Man, the shorts are just hard to. Yeah, there's no real delay from my keyboard to my piano to my to my recording. Yes, that sounds interesting there, but let's try the Marcato. Interesting. So there's no delay there. It just seems like the shorts are just causing me a problem for whatever reason. And they sound great. Like when I play them on piano, they sound great here when I'm playing them, but it makes it almost hard to play guitar, the shorts, because of that delay. Because you're like, like I'm not on time, I'm not with it. So, if you get this library and you're playing and you have a solution, share with me. Where's the... Sounds great, to be honest with you. So far with the violins, what I would use is the longs, legatos were a little bit hard, but like the longs were great, and the pizzicatos were great. So let's move down to the right-handed cellos. Now, the violas are going to be similar, but I know people like to hear the cellos, and then let's do the basses. I don't want to neglect the violas, but also don't. I guess there's part of me that wants the video to be. We'll go back to the violas after this. Let's do some cellos right now. So, legato cello. Ooh, that was weird. Okay, the legato is a little bit tough to play. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's do your longs at least. Yeah, the longs work really good. I would use the longs. I like that. Let's do some long harmonics. Well, still a little bit of sucking there, but not too bad. some of the textures look really good. Still a little bit of a sucking sound. Also, we have a lot of these in the cello patch. That one's got a bunch of sucking too. Just things to be aware of. And I'm not, when I say these things, I'm not poo-pooing on the library, because it works really good with keys, and I think it's probably scripted that way. There's some stuff that happens with the guitar to hear that, I don't know, I'm not a programmer, but I don't know, there's just an exchange that seems to happen. And just like I said before, like on other libraries, the Omnisphere, great. Symphonic strings, some patches work great, others really great. The shorts were awesome on the symphonic strings. This, it's a mixed bag. It's just interesting is all. Let's do the shorts here. See that? This actually seems tighter than the other patches, like the violins and stuff. That's still a little bit of a delay, but not too bad. Because, you know, if you're playing along with something, you could probably either do. Yeah, you can make it work. It's better than the violins in the 60, I'll tell you that. See that? And that's right on. A little bit of a delay there. Sorry, I wanted to move to these staccatissimos for everyone. See how they... I have a hard time playing them, and the reason they're actually great, but the reason is there's so many levels of dynamics that if I'm like, if I play any louder, like it's really, you know, you have to do a lot of programming after the fact to make sure that you're not. Yeah, so the staccatissimo seems to work, but it's a little bit tighter, but still harder to play. I don't know. It's. So that works. Really, the biggest thing with this library is legatos and the shorts. They sound fantastic and they work fine on piano, but just with the guitar. Guitar for some reason it's way delayed and funky for me, so I find that interesting as well. Let's do the bass, and then maybe if we have time, we'll do some of the violas. So, but same thing, we have to do a MIDI modifier here. Can't go that high. So far the legato is really nice on the bass. I like the bass a lot. The bass seems like it handles really nicely. Let's do some flatandos. Textures sound great on the bass. So far the bass gets a nice high mark so far. I'm gonna do the tremolo again. Let's do these shorts because this seems to be a. See, that's better. Okay, so the shorts on the bass work really nice. Pizzicato works really great. Let's do some Colinos here. So that was the bass instruments, and so the basses are really great. I don't know. It's interesting how within each one library they're all slightly different. I am actually going to take a moment just to finish up with the violas. Sometimes violas never get any love. I almost abandoned them, but I'm gonna do them. So what's interesting is these violas. I think I have the violas pulled up here. Let's do the violas wide because that way we can hear the legato in hit in it, and we can kind of go from there. So here's what the legatos sound like. A little bit of halo there, why not? I think it struggles a little bit with fast runs. Again, my goal is not to play everything perfection. I feel like I am playing it perfect on guitar, but some of the runs, some of the just mini trigger notes, I just want to be kind of real and authentic. So you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of what I'm getting into. I've seen just a few videos of people showcasing the MIDI guitar, and it's like, oh, it's like perfect. And I'm like, I don't know if it's perfect, but it's more fun than piano, I'll tell you that, at least from a guitarist perspective. So legatos, they have their quirks. Again, I think it's the engine, but they have their quirks. The longs do really good on the viola. So if I'm writing music and I'm wanting to use Hans Zimmer strings, I want to use the guitar, probably going to stick with the longs and maybe do some of the like legato, like single note lines, and then move on from there, if that makes sense. So let's do some of the, let's do some tremolo here. Why not? Tremolo works really nicely, I'll tell you that. You know, I'm obviously not going to use a lot of tremolo, but you know, just for certain lines, just in my writings and how I do stuff, but it gets the job done, that's for sure. Let's do the long super flautando. I know I'm probably saying that wrong. All right, for guitars, you can get some pretty sweet textures in there, which I like. Let's do the favorites, the shorts. How do they react? Man. Yeah, it's definitely like a weird delay. Oh, it's almost unplayable. It's just interesting. Like it works fine on the keyboard. The other libraries worked fine on piano or on guitar, but the shorts are just a pain. Any Metallica fans out there? I am a diehard James Hetfield fan, but depends how I'm playing, but the pizzicatos work better than the shorts. I don't know what it is, but I actually quite like the pizzicatos. Let's do some combing meals. Yeah, some of the combing is, it feels a little bit, the timing is a little bit harder to play with. Yeah, so far so in the Hans Zimmer strings. So I'm gonna wrap up. So in the Hans Zimmer strings library, my favorite string library, it's got some quirks with the legato and the short notes. The longs and the textures, they're very playable and sound great with the MIDI guitar setup, but the short stuff and the legatos are a little bit funky. So that's something for you to consider as you're, hey, this is what I want to be my go-to string library and I want to use guitar. Those are some things to consider and to know about. So, but all in all, I still love this library. I use it all the time. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If it was, please subscribe. If you haven't already, set the alerts and things like that so you can follow along with every library that gets released every week that we feature on the Midi Guitarist channel, and just to see how things are working and how each library is uniquely different with the MIDI guitar setup. Because again, the Midi Guitarist channel is set up for guitarists who want to do film scores, incorporate virtual instruments in the libraries, but who suck at piano or don't even want to touch the piano. So that's why we do what we do. So thank you so much for watching, and blessings on the day.